It's a fact. It's a Friday fact. Yeah. A new fact every Friday. Ready, set, go. It's Friday. That's a fact. It's a Friday fact. Yeah. Yeah. Every Friday.
Hi, welcome back to another Friday Fact. This time we didn't use an AI assistant to create this video. I'm here in person to talk to you about this important topic that is migrating BizTalk Server to Azure Integration Services. And I mentioned during my talk at Integrate 2024 and even last year in 23 that migrating a BizTalk server to Azure Integration Service will be expensive. Many people get a little bit confused and shocked about this sentence, and some others use this in a different context. So I'm here to explain a little bit more and to actually rectify this story. And in fact, it will be. So it's not going to be an easy task, it's going to be an expensive task for me. That is my opinion. But before we go deep dive and speak about this, let's also speak about how is the process to migrate a BizTalk server, an old version, to a new version of BizTalk server. It is expensive also, okay? So normally when we are migrating BizTalk to another BizTalk environment, that means that we are not going to use an in-place migration. We are going to do a side-by-side migration because it is more comfort this way, so it doesn't bring too much risk, and we can migrate side by side in an easy way and step by step. But that means also that we need a huge upfront investment. So we need to create a new environment. That means that we need to create to buy new BizTalk license because we are going to have two production servers running at the same time, and you can easily spend 100k just in BizTalk license. Okay. Uh, on top of that, we need to acquire also SQL license and Windows server licensing. And because BizTalk server runs on a machine, we need hardware. Nowadays, virtual machines probably that runs on Azure or locally in your facilities. That means that before we actually start migrating the solutions, we need a huge upfront investment just to create a new environment. Okay. Then we have a small piece that is the developer phase. So we need to take the solutions, and we normally on this migration do an as-is migration, just not put additional stuff on front of that and be comfortable. So normally we do an as-is migration, and if there is new improvements later on, we do the improvements. That's going to be fairly easy, to be honest. Okay, depending on the size of your environment, number of applications, that can take days, weeks, or a month. Okay, because normally just take the solutions, build, recompile, and publish on the new environment. Get the settings from the other environment, put the same settings there, fix the URIs, and that's it. So it's not going to be a time-consuming task. But later we need the test, and the acceptance test phase. Unit test to see everything goes well, and business need to do the test and approve that migration and give the go ahead to put in production, to switch from the old environment to the new environment. If you are lucky, sometimes in some clients we can skip the business to approve. The IT has the power to kind of migrate this, switch, check that, and hold back if there is a need, especially in many solutions that we get the pools, we get pool data and not actually listen to data from the environments. And in some cases we can skip the business, but normally we have the business to do the acceptance test, and that's going to be a more complex task because there may be many solutions, many teams that we need to involve. They have different agendas, they have different roadmaps. So kind of sometimes it's going to be hard to put all of these people synchronized with the same goals to do the acceptance test and move to production. Many think do not realize that, but that is manpower that company has to allocate to this migration. That means costs. So if you look and if you see with attention, migrate the BizTalk environment to a new BizTalk environment is not cheap. It's a little expensive, okay? Of course, we get this value back because normally BizTalk process critical data for the companies and is a cost that is well spent, okay? Without saying, do you think that migrating BizTalk to an Azure Integration Service that is a different technology, a different architecture is going to be easier, simple, and not expensive? No, it's not going to be that, okay? So it's going to be still complex, and it's going to be, it will have costs. It's not going to be cheaper. It's not going something that you're going to do in a month or 2 months, and that's it. Perfect life, everything went well, and we have everything ready and switch off from BizTalk to Azure integration. No, the story is a little bit more complex and a little bit more difficult, okay? So you have to think that these BizTalk solutions, they have, most of them are 20 years old, okay? So they were built in 2004, migrate as is until 2020, okay? Sometimes there is no documentation at all about these applications, okay? So you don't have any proper documentation. In some cases, the people that create this application, that decide, that were involved, they were the drivers for these integrations, these applications are not longer in the company, they move on. They are in another position, they are in another company, so we cannot go and check with them why, and probably they also don't really remember why, okay? And in most cases also, there is no source code. I found myself doing some migrations without no source code, okay? Which makes the life of the developer even a little bit hard. Of course, the obvious, they are different technologies, okay? BizTalk is completely different in terms of architecture about Azure integration, okay? So I'm not going there and explain what this is step by step, okay? In some cases, there is a one match between Azure and BizTalk. In some cases, there is no match at all in terms of features and capabilities, and sometimes there is one-to-many match in terms of what we can implement the same concepts in Azure integrations. And depending on the company, they can go for policies that they want the first code, no code, low code first approach. Based on some policies, they need to go premium. Based on some policies, they have to be BNet integration, so everything has to be under BNet. All of these influence how we are going to develop and the final cost of our solutions on Azure. Okay, so it's not the same as BizTalk that we don't care about too much about what is the infrastructure because we have the machine ready and that's it. Here we have to look about this and they have different costs. All of these and before you start thinking about migrating the solutions, you have to do a complete assessment and analysis to your environment, okay? Because as I mentioned, in some cases there is no documentation, there is no people involved anymore, and in some cases we find out that many services are already deprecated, no one is going to use it, so we are not going to migrate these solutions. Without saying, we need to involve business also in this assessment phase, okay? We have to bring this person to the assessment, allocate them to the migration. That is again manpower, cost associated to this migration, okay? And then we need to decide which features are we going to use, and so on and so forth. And we are going to redesign the solution. There is no magic button. Okay, if someone tells you there is a magic button that's going to migrate your solution from one side to the other, they are lying to you. So go away and find another partner, because that's not true. Okay. On top of that, again, if we can skip sometimes the business to do the acceptance test in BizTalk, here is not the case. Okay, so we are going to do a complete redesign of our solutions. We are going to use a complete different technology. So that means that we have to have a deep test and acceptance test phase. Okay, we have to test everything properly, and we have to have the business and put all of these teams together: the SAP team, the SQL team, the Oracle team, all of these systems and platforms that you have around you together when it's needed to test these, allocate people. That means, again, more cost for all of this migration. Okay, all of that reasons involve the final cost of migration. It's not only about the technology involved. Okay, because one of the good things about the Azure integration is that there is no upfront cost. So you don't pay more than, I don't know, 200K just to have an environment ready. Okay, if you are smart, of course. I see many people create upfront technology with all premium environments, and that means that can stay probably 1 month without using, but they are paying already. So that for me is an upfront cost. But if you are smart, start small and get bigger during that process, you save a lot of money just about this upfront cost on Azure, because it doesn't exist. Okay, so that's why I say it's a long journey, it's a process, it's doable. You can fairly easy migrate. Okay, it's going to be complex, but it's possible to migrate in a good way the BizTalk solutions to Azure. Okay, but it will be expensive on that journey. Okay, it's not going to be, if you cannot look only for the cost of the service. Okay, and but one of the things that I normally say is, based on what I know from the market and the other technologies, is it's going to be expensive, but it's going to be cheaper than all the competitors. In cheaper in terms of final price for me, and the developer phase is going to be easier to migrate the BizTalk server to Azure Integration Service. I see many customers telling me that a different vendor or competitor told them that they can easily migrate the BizTalk solution to their products. That's not true. Okay, that's completely out of sense for me. Normally they cannot migrate a BizTalk map. What about the entire BizTalk solution? Okay, and I'm not speaking about a map with 5 fields. I'm talking about mappings in BizTalk, an ADI mapping, SAP mapping, a complex mapping. So it's not going to work on other technologies because there are some dependencies, and it cannot easily migrate that without redesigning a lot of things. So if you are on that journey, if you are evaluating what to use to migrate BizTalk, if you already decide to migrate from BizTalk, of course, and if you are checking different vendors, if they tell you that's going to be easy, ask for evidence, ask for a proof of concept, free of charge for you. Okay, if they feel comfortable in saying that they can easily migrate, ask for an evidence, ask for a proof of concept, and case studies and price comparisons, because probably they never did a BizTalk migration and compare the price. Okay, I hope you enjoy. Have a good Friday. See you next week.